go ahead and take an actual look at a print we did with the halftones from our Simple Steps plugin, you're going to see that we're holding a lot of detail. In fact, I'd go ahead and say that this is a high-end design. You can see the detail in this print. Incredible fashion design. Here we have our black film printing out. Everything auto-separated in Simple Steps, halftones generated automatically, then printed right out to your black film on an inkjet. Here we are washing the screen out, able to hold all those dots on a 230 mesh screen. Here we are setting up the t-shirt and going ahead and printing. You'll see that we're holding all of our dots. Very high quality, high detail halftone printing without a $500 or $1,000 rip. And right now Simple Steps comes with the Mega Pack 1 from t-shirtclipart.com. That's over 500 hand-drawn monochrome design elements. You can go ahead and start creating and separating with halftones high-end designs that have the type of look you see on the retail stores and on the shelves today that the kids go crazy over in the high schools. Very easily and very simply with the art and the Simple Steps plugin. Blow your clients away before your competition does with the Simple Steps plugin and the monochrome art. In CorelDRAW, working with Corel Photo Paint, and I often refer to Photo Paint as the hidden power twin because so few users take advantage of the power that they have in Photo Paint. If you need Photo Paint training, we've got that on the site also. I'm going to select OK, and we'll let that process, and you'll see that we'll have a radical change in our graphic here. And there we go. Now we've got a different flame shape going there. And I'll go ahead and save this, and I'll take this back into Draw. And then I'll bring this up just a bit here and we'll resize a bit, change the size of it so it fits a little bit better here with what's going on with our flame. And now we've got a really cool flame effect coming off the head of our skull. Now all I need to do is go to Bitmap, Mode, Black and White, select OK, and because I preserved my transparency I'll get a good conversion. I'll left click to knock out my background and right click a white, and I should be working my tinted palette, and right click to change that to a white. So now I've got a really cool effect going on with this. I can tweak it even more. I could actually left click and bring this in a bit, have it fit a little bit more like it's actually flames coming off of the skull. So we've got all this set up on our print. We're the right size, and what I want to do next is add my text here. So I'm going to go ahead and get my ellipse tool, and I'll just create an ellipse here, and I'll go ahead and I'll actually rotate that so it kind of follows the path of these skulls here up here on the top. And I want to change this just a little bit, tweak it just a bit here. We'll change our shape. We're just going to apply our text to this, the path of this ellipse, so that they fit with the flow of what's going on with our skulls. So I'm just kind of like creating a dome with this ellipse over the skull so I can apply my text to that path. And then I'm just going to type in up here at the top, no rip, no problem, and that'll be that text. And I want to grab Reuben for this particular font, so I'll come down through my fonts. I actually used Reuben. You can find Reuben also. Just Google Reuben.ttf or free font Reuben, and you'll be able to find that also for free on the internet. And I'll left click and change the size of this text. No rip, no problem. And I can just right click on this, hold down my right mouse button here, get over the top here of this, and select Fit Text to Path. But actually what I'll do is actually go with Fit Text to Path on this one. I'll come up to Text and we'll go to Fit to Path because I want a little bit more control over that. Then I'll just come down here, click here, and now we've got that set. Now once you've got text set up on your path like that, you can go to your Shape tool and you can start to move things around here. Actually I could lasso all of these nodes and go ahead and reposition this text with the Shape tool and move it right to there. So we've got our no rip, no problem set up. And then I'll go ahead to this ellipse here. I'll click on that, right click, and select Cut to remove that from the ellipse there. Go ahead and take this, and I'll fill this with a red also from my tinted palette. And we're going to want to give this also a black outline. So I'll go over here to my properties, and I'll come down here and I'll give this a 4mm outline behind, fill, scale with image, and we'll go ahead and round our corners and our end caps, as you can see there. And now I've got my no rip, no problem text in my design. Now I've got everything pretty well laid out here, and I'd be ready to start separating. You can see we created a high-end design with a lot of different effects here pretty quickly. But I want to go ahead and resize this and position this just a little bit so it looks like it fits directly with what's going on with my design here, and bring this in just a little bit tighter over these three skulls, as you can see there. Now this is an oversized print, but we're pretty well prepped and ready to go here. If I wanted to add some more effects and do some more things, I could do that, but I think this design will work just fine for now. Now once we've completed setting up our design, and I actually didn't get my skull there, I want to lasso and make sure I've got everything, and get this right into the center of my page here and set this up. Now we're working on page 1. Now probably what I would do typically at this point is I would go ahead and save this, but we'll go ahead and start separating here. And what I want to do is right click and unlock this vector object in the background that I created, just so I could see my whites. I know that my whites are all there. First thing I'm going to do is verify my color separation. We've got a combination of vector, and we've also got a lot of monochrome art in here. And we want to go to simple seps. I want to make sure I've got all spot colors before I set this up. So I'll go to color management, click on create palette, show color names. I can see I got some CMYK black in there, but all I want is black and white and red. So I'm going to go ahead and show color names, and I'm going to go ahead to one click conversion here, and we'll click all that and we'll get rid of that CMYK black. I won't have to look for that. And then we'll minimize here, and then I want to bring in my red and my yellow. So we'll go ahead here on the skull that we've got set up here, and I'm going to go ahead and ungroup all here, and come down through here and start changing some colors. This top I'm going to change to a white, and then I'm going to go down through here to my white and change that to a red. If I hit my Alt key, I can go back down through. There's my black, there's my white, and I'll come up here and right click on my red. Now this yellow, I actually want to get this in a Pantone, but now you can see with this monochrome from Max Pack 2, we've got the red, black, brown, and the yellow highlight to work with in our design to really set that off when we set up our color separations and bring that skull out. Now, looking at what's going on here, I can see I'm going to have some of this skull popping up here. Probably don't want to have that, so I'm actually going to deal with that by bringing these skulls out to the front here. But what I'll want to do initially is just go ahead and select these three, holding down my shift key, selecting all those monochrome objects. Remember, I had those all grouped. Right click, order, and I'll go to in front of, and I'll click on what I know is going to be my yellow here, and now that's brought those all to the front. Now I can see I've got some issues with the head, the jaw of this particular skull coming down, so I actually probably want to resize that just a little bit, bring that jaw back up behind my text, just like that. Now I've got some issues in the background here behind these skulls, and what I'll do is I'll just create a simple ellipse and bring that right over through here, and I'll go ahead and rotate that and just kind of use that to put black back there as opposed to white. So go ahead and left click, rotate this, holding down our left mouse button, and I'll just come up here and click on back of page. I'll fill that with a black and a black, and I can see that's not going behind the skull that I got down here. If we zoom in and take a look, we can see that didn't go behind the skull, so we really probably wanted to take that in front of our yellow. So I'm going to hit Control Z, and we'll bring that ellipse back up. I'm going to fill that with black right here. Then I'll go ahead and right click that and select order, and I'll go in front of and click on my yellow, and now that's tucked away, and I'll have a nice black behind these skulls. And I think I've got some area over here too, so I can know that I've got a handle here for dealing with that. Right here I can bring this over and actually bring this down and rotate it and make sure I cover what's going on the inside of this mouth also. So what I'll do is I'll go to my center line here. I'm going to hit Control Z, go back and make sure I've got all of that covered before I go order in front of. I want to go cover this white spot there with black, make sure I've got all this other colors covered. We'll skew this up just a little bit. I'm going to right click and go order and select in front of, and we'll go right in front of the yellow. And now we've got all that turned black there, so we're not going to see this skull. We get some better pop of the skulls here at the top.